Hello friends of Sally Antiques. Today in our short video I would like to present you a few of the pieces that we have here on our wall. As you can see, it's a great selection of swords. A lot of them curved swords, Mameluke swords as they're called, but there's some 1796s and other patterns. Some foreign as well, but most of them are British. I decided to show you closer 5 of these swords, which belong to different cavalry units. Some of them, or most of them, quite famous. So I'll start by presenting you this one, which it's a 9th Lancers. It's an 1822 pattern Mameluke sword. It is in an exceptional red velvet and scabbard with brass elements on it. Obviously the grips are made of bone or ivory in these cases. I think this particular one is actually bone. And I'll show you the blade on this exceptional sword. If you look carefully in the light, I don't know if the camera can actually see it, you can see the crown and the 9 lancers with the lances, the cross lances actually. On the other side, you can see the Prosser mark, which is the manufacturer, and there's his address here. Not very easy to see on the camera, but actually is, if you look into the light, you'll be able to spot it. An excellent piece with a curved sword, specific to the post-Napoleonic era. Pieces like this were used in places like the Crimea. If you look at the sword, you see that there's a double edge towards the end. It's a very, very light blade, very elastic. It's an excellent weapon that was used by the Lancers in places like the Crimea. Going further, I'll show you the next piece, which this one, it's a 12th Royal Lancers. It's very interesting because you can see the crest here. So it's very possible that this is actually a sword that belonged to someone from around these parts. If you look here, you will see the lancers etching and the cross lances. The sword has some serious nicks on it because probably this was used in combat. But it's still a very interesting historical piece. It's slightly different from the earlier one because the tip is not as wide, but it's still double-edged. So very specific to the era of the 1850s. The next piece here, this is a 5th Dragoons. This is dressed in, the scabbard is dressed in green leather, which is very interesting. The blade is exceptional. There's no etchings on this blade apart from the manufacturer's mark here, but otherwise the blade is it's superb. You actually have a wide section in the middle with the sharp edges, as you can see. A beautiful, beautiful historical piece this as well. I'll move a bit faster because I don't want to kind of take too long, but we have to look at these in details. So this is interesting because this looks more like the pieces that you'll see in the Napoleonic era. Very ornate. This particular one, it's the 15th King's Hussars. It's an officer's piece. The etchings are really beautiful. You can see the King's Hussars here. This particular one is probably Georgian or William IV or so. So it's quite an old piece. You could see them again on the battlefields, just the sort of the end of the Napoleonic era. The blade is a bit heavier on this because probably it just needed more strength. The interesting thing is that the scabbard is actually this lined with shagreen, which is quite unusual and very, very interesting. An exceptional piece. And last but not least, a more sturdy piece with a steel scabbard. This is 11th Hussars of Prince Albert owns. If you look at the blade again, you can see the nice etchings with the crown and the mark of the 11 Hussars. Absolutely fantastic piece. This is made by Andrews in London. It's still a double-edged at the tip, but a bit more ergonomic with sort of a heavier balance. So you can hit with quite a bit of strength with this piece. Obviously, I'm not a fencing expert, but I do know about the characteristics of a good sword, and this is very interesting and very impressive. And it's a heavy sword that could have been used in combat. It's very interesting because you have the Tudors rose there, so nicely ornate. It's a very thick grip, so you have a very good grip on it. An exceptional sword. Well, these are just but a few. There's more there, very interesting. There's one sword there from the Devon cavalry, and there's a few others from artillery units and naval units and so on, and some 1796s. So quite good selection. We have a lot of other swords. We'll come back in a longer episode to show you these individually and to tell you the story behind each of them and behind the units that actually use them. But for now, this is it. Please check the website, have a look there. There's serious descriptions and pictures about these with all the information that we managed to gather about them, and it can be a very interesting read. Thank you very much, and see you next time.